Did you know that there are over 3 billion people who have little to no access to the gospel? Few churches, Bibles, or believers nearby. What's even more surprising is that the least amount of missionaries and resources are sent to these people. Only 3% of missionaries go to these places, and just 2% of missions funding is dedicated to reaching them. At Trinity Bible Church, we are committed to addressing this imbalance. When we talk about missions, we're not talking about sharing the gospel with your neighbors, your co-workers, or people in our community. Missions goes beyond that. It means crossing cultural and linguistic boundaries to share the gospel, sometimes in places where access is limited or non-existent. It's part of Jesus' command in the Great Commission: go and make disciples of all nations. And by nations, Scripture is referring to distinct people groups, each with their own language, history, and culture. Take Pakistan, for example. It's considered one nation, but within its borders, there are over 400 distinct people groups. So what is the state of missions around the world? The world's population can be grouped by their access to the gospel. World C represents 30% of the global population. This group consists of people groups living in areas with abundant access to the gospel. About 72% of missionaries work in these regions, receiving 87% of all missions funds. World B represents 38% of the global population. These people have access to the gospel, but few actually follow Christ. They have churches nearby, Bibles in their languages, and Christian friends or co-workers. Approximately 25% of missionaries work in these areas, receiving 12% of mission funds. World A is where the need is greatest. These are people groups with little to no churches, Bibles, or believers nearby. Many will live and die without ever hearing the gospel. These areas are often remote, present significant language barriers, where they are dangerous for Christians due to persecution or hostility. Of the 16,000 people groups in the world, over 7,000 of them fall into World A and are considered unreached, meaning that less than 2% of their population is Christian. Yet only 3% of missionaries serve in World A, where over 3 billion people remain unreached. To address this imbalance, Trinity is committed to sending and supporting missionaries, especially those who serve amongst unreached people groups. We're committed to equipping our missionaries with the resources they need to thrive in some of the most spiritually challenging places on earth, and to stand behind them as a church family through prayer, encouragement, and financial support. We're also raising up new missionaries from within our congregation and equipping those who feel called to go. So what can you do? First, learn more about unreached people groups and the efforts that are being made to reach them. You can also ask us about an upcoming opportunity to learn more. Second, ask God if He is leading you to go long-term to an unreached people group. You can also pray by name for our missionaries and consider giving to support their work. Lastly, you could go on one of our short-term mission trips to witness firsthand what God is doing amongst the nations. For more information about the missionaries we support, or to let us know how you'd like to get involved, email us at missions@trinitybible.com. This is what Missions at Trinity is all about, bringing balance to the great imbalance.